Hey YouTube, I got the Misfire on cylinder 1. Usually when you have a misfire on one of the cylinders, it can be either spark plugs, it can be wires. On the easy part, it can be also much more complicated as bed head gasket and coolant inside the motor. But in that case, this is an X5. Why the picture is not zoomed? Let's see. All right, this is an X5 4.4 liter, and I'm going to check why I have a misfire. Now usually it's either the coils or the spark plugs. Now since I have it on cylinder number 1, I'm going to switch the coils between 1 and 2 and see if I get misfire on cylinder 2. So the big question is, where are the spark plugs? Where are the coils? You look at the motor and you can't see nothing. Here is, we'll go a little backward. So first of all, what you need is to find out where the spark plugs and where the coils are. Now I know where they are, so I'm going to show you. You see the BMW sign right here? In that case, that's a V8. Means that the motor is built in a V position, V shape. It's got cylinders on one side and cylinder on the other side, and it goes down in a V shape into the crankshaft. The crankshaft will be down there somewhere, but that's on a different video. So what we got to do is we got to expose the coils first. Where the BMW sign is, you see that's under that is where the coils and the spark plugs. What you got to do is, first of all, you have to remove the two little these little pieces here that hide the bolts, just for aesthetic. It doesn't have any other purpose, but there are two bolts. This is one of them, and they're number 10, and this is the other one. Let's get the light. All right, this is 1 and this is 2. What you're gonna have to do is snap on the little cover that sits on top of that. Of course, the lines of the cover will be parallel to the other lines of the BMW sign. You take them off, and then you got the two 10 millimeters bolts that you're going to have to unbolt gently and remove the cover. So let me do that, and I'll remove the cover. Okay, after you remove the two bolts there, the case is not going to come up before we move actually this engine guard right here. So there are 4 Allen bolts right here that are holding it in, but they're not screwing out. It's kind of like you just twist it 90 degrees and it will open. So I'll show you how to do it. You don't have to break it or let me see, where is my Allen wrench. Alright, what you do is basically you just put it inside, alright, and you turn it 90 degrees. And when you turn it 90 degrees, it's going to open it. And after that, you lift it up, you see? And it comes right up. The ones on the back probably not out yet. Alright, it's kind of hard to do it with one hand. But what you do is basically 90 degrees and it will snap up. Alright, so I'm going to do that and I'm going to show you out in a second. Alright, I got it out. I just want to show you the bottom, how it looks. You see this one right there? Let's see if I can zoom on that so you understand how it's being held inside. Okay, all right. You see that it's got a little kind of leaf coming out. It's not easy. Okay, all right. Anyway, there is a little. Here it is. There is a little leaf right here, as you can see on the side, that holds it inside. So when you turn it 90 degrees and you pry it out gently with your hands, it's a piece of plastic, you don't want to break it, but when you hold it 90 degrees and you pry it out, let me show you where it's sitting on, right here. You see, then it fits into the place here and you can yank it out. You got 4 of them. That's how you get the cover out. Now the cover is out. Now I'm going to take this cover out and we can already see the motor. You can see this is the intake manifold. This is the fuel line, fuel distributor that goes around. Let's zoom again. Let's try. All right, fuel distributor that goes around. Intake manifold. You got the brackets that holding down the stuff. And now let me open the case. I'll show you where the spark plugs and the coils sitting.
so hang tight.
Okay, the case is out. Now I just want to give you a heads up. There are two kind of bushings that's sitting inside. These two, they're aluminum, so you can't. They're not gonna get magnet. So if you lose them inside the motor somewhere, you're not gonna be able to pull them out with a magnet. When you lift it up, just gently pry it up, lift it up, just like that, and move it aside. Let's put that aside for a second. Just make sure you're not losing them. Now here are the coils, and of course I'm showing you the right side, which is the passenger side, or the left side if you're facing the vehicle. There are 4 identical coils on the other side of the motor. As I said, it's a V8. Now I started to say that I have the Misfire, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this coil right here and switch it with this one right here. And it's really easy. Basically, it will clip out right here. I can't do it with one hand, but you clip it out. You have 2 bolts that's holding it in. You pull all that coil out. It's sitting on top of the spark plug, directly into the spark plug. So it doesn't have the cables like Mercedes have on most of their cars. Here you just take it out. You take the other one out. You flip them. Now if you have a Misfire on cylinder number 2, and by the way, this is cylinder number 1 right here. I think 99% of the car, or at least the German cars, cylinder number 1 will be the first cylinders on the left side, or if you want to call it right side, if it's the passenger, you know what, passenger side. The first cylinder on the passenger side going to be the first cylinder number 1, cylinder number 2, cylinder number 3, cylinder number 4. And then you go back to the driver's side and you're going to go for the same place, cylinder number 5, 6, 7, 8. So Misfire on cylinder number 1, I'm going to take this coil right here, flip it with this one, then drive the car. Then the check engine light most likely going to come back again and going to give me a Misfire on cylinder number 2. Since the coil is bad. If it still gives me a Misfire on cylinder number 1, it means the coil was fine, then I'm going to start and check the spark plugs. In that case, I know that the spark plugs are fine because I serviced the spark plugs about maybe 6 months ago, and I used only original equipment manufacturer, or original, in that case, a BMW spark plugs. So in that case, I shouldn't have any problem with the spark plug. Now, if it is not the coil, then I'm going to start and dig deeper into the problem. A lot of time you can get misfire for many different reasons. You know, there's no one single reason why you're going to get a misfire. It can be mass airflow. It can be the exhaust gas recirculation. It can be many other things that will trigger the misfire. But most of the times it will be the coils or the spark plugs. So I'm going to take the coils out, I'm going to flip them and show you when they're out how they look, just that you have reference, that you know what to look for. Okay, as I told you, I'm going to show you because it's kind of like, not tricky, but you got to know. This is the clip that's holding the wire harness itself. You got to pull it up. You see how I pulled it up? It's kind of hard to see it on the camera, but it swings up gently. You pull it up. Now when you pull it up, you release that. Alright. Okay, it's coming out slowly. I don't want to cause any damage that I'm going to have to try and repair. Okay, this is the wire harness. And now the wire harness is not connected. You see, this is the coil itself. Now in number 10, zoom. Okay, number 10. And you're going to open this one. Now I'm going to take off the camera for a second because I don't want to lose the bolts inside. It kind of sucks when you have to look for bolts after you drop them, and it happens to me all the time. There's not a job that I'm doing that I don't lose a bolt somewhere and have to find it for an hour, but I can just tell you that I never lose a bolt. Hopefully today not going to be the first time. You know, you open your mouth too much and then all of a sudden you lose one. But you can't lose a bolt. If you drop the bolt somewhere, you stop your work immediately when you lost it, and you don't continue until you find it. Because if you're going to leave it for later, you can forget that you had the bolt somewhere. And then, alright, here is the other one is out. Okay, I'm going to put it here for now. Usually I don't leave bolts on the car, I put them aside. But in that case, just for the sake of the video, I'll do that. Then basically after you put that, you yank it out, and that's it. And once the coil is out, you can see this is the coil. Once the coil is out, you can replace it with the second one. Yep, it looks like that came from a yard shop. Usually if they have mark on the coil like that, it comes from a junkyard or something like that. So no wonder why it's bad. It might be used one. My opinion, if you change coils, put the new one. Don't take the used one. They don't last for too long. And don't forget they've been already used and you don't know if you got a good one. So 99% of the time, if I replace electric parts, I replace them with new one. As much as it costs, it's well worth spending the money on a new one. Basically, that's it. This is the coil. We'll take the other one, we'll flip them, and see if I have a coil problem. Looking at this one, it already gives me a hint that it might be a coil problem. But there you go. That's removing the coils. Okay, just heads up, before I finish this video, I'll show you where the spark plug is. Right there. You see? And that's now to change the spark plug. You drop in the wrench, turn the spark plug counterclock to open, clockwise to close, and you can change the spark plugs as well. So if you want to do a coil job, you have a Misfire, you need the new spark plug. This is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, mark it that you like it, the thumbs up. If you don't like it, don't waste 10 minutes of your time to watch these movies. Move on to a different channel. Thank you very much for watching.